heart of our alchemy today, which basically means the key ingredient to our transformation, is green bananas. Nimemaliza kuzichonga tu sana. So that might be a bit out of the norm of what I usually do, which is keto. So I might have gone out of keto for a minute. So I don't know, I used to judge the people who usually do the cutting and bulking. So I used to think, why not just bulk, or why not just cut and then you just settle? So I'm not sure what reason I can even give. So I want to go back into the weight maintenance mode. So more of what I will be doing will be a bit of complex carb, more protein of course, and the healthy fats, vegetables, stuff like that, probiotics, So right now I'm having some eggs and avocado for breakfast. When I make the green bananas, nimeamka nikiwa njaa, so can't wait. This can't wait. So the first thing about green bananas is that it has fiber. I will start by mentioning that because, as you remember, we placed it in the list of complex carbs. That means it has fiber. The thing that the simple carbs miss is the fiber. That's why the complex is the complex. Yeah. So it has specifically a dietary fiber which acts as a prebiotic. Yes, prebiotic is what feeds your probiotic. Yeah, so that basically means you're boosting your good bacteria by feeding them the right stuff. And by boosting your good bacteria, that means you have basically improved your gut. Yeah, so there is a good digestion, good bowel movements, and that can be really important in our day-to-day. Yeah, you wake up one day and you realize jana ulikuwa bloated, but today you're not bloated, so you realize how much bloating can really hold you back. When I was talking about the pumpkin seeds, I mentioned about how beneficial the fiber can be in regulating blood sugar, in weight management. So I already mentioned that. I will not really go deep into that right now. So when it comes to fiber, when you take the green bananas, you know that you're literally covered when it comes to fiber. I recently did a pregnancy meal plan, and I was doing a low carb. We were doing a low carb diet, and green bananas were one of the things that were in the top list of complex carb in that meal plan, majorly because it has the B6 vitamin, and it's really important when it comes to the brain development of the kid. It can also be beneficial to us in a number of ways, and the first one is nerve function. The second one is in the creation of hemoglobin. That is why it is actually used in the treatment of some types of anemia. And the good thing about green bananas is that they're cheap. I actually bought three for 20. So yeah, they're cheap. You can literally make a lot of things from them. You can fry green bananas, you can boil them and still enjoy them. You can even boil it with the skin and add salt and take that for breakfast, just how you would do sweet potatoes. It still tastes good, imagine. So for those people who say that cooking all the time can be a problem, that's where this comes in. This type of diet helps you. You don't have to overdo all the time. You don't have to even overspice all the time, and you'll still enjoy the taste of your food. Aside from being a really good carb for pregnancy, because it has a component that helps with the development of the brain, the B6. The B6 can also help in regulating the amount of morning sickness, because B6 is usually given during that time of the first trimester, where the woman can have the nausea from the morning sickness and stuff like that. So yeah, that's another reason that this could be a really good thing to have, especially in the first trimester. Green bananas also have a low glycemic index of around 35, and the ripe bananas are around 51. So you can see the difference between a ripe and a green one when it comes to the glycemic index. So the glycemic index, I could explain it as how fast it makes your blood sugar spike. And these sugar spikes are what we usually try to prevent. So something like bread is from 70 to 100. So you see where the problem comes in with these simple carbohydrates. Exactly. So already clearly you've seen this can be a really good thing to incorporate when you're trying to lose weight, and when you're trying at least to move from the simple carbohydrates to the complex carbohydrates. There are some people who can go further and actually eliminate the carbs completely and go into keto, but some people can actually stay there in the low carb and still be okay. The good thing is that when you're eating something like the green bananas, you can hardly overeat it, so it will help you in your weight maintenance. That is how it is one of the things that you can incorporate when you're trying to lose weight. They also come with a potassium content to them. It is not only the ripe ones that come with potassium. So right now you do not have an excuse for eating all that sugar in the ripe banana when it is actually not good for you. So I wanted to read for you something about the actual potential of sodium and potassium. That is why sodium and potassium are one of the important nutrients that someone should have in their diet. So potassium and sodium ions are critical for cell function, particularly nerve and muscle cells. That is why when we talk about potassium, we think about heart health, because the heart has those contractions and all that movement that needs a lot of energy. But aside from that, the fact that potassium and sodium assist in these muscular contractions, that is why they have to be there in a good amount. So the sodium potassium pump actively moves 3 sodium ions out of the cell for every 2 potassium ions it pumps in. This action creates a higher concentration of sodium outside the cell and a higher concentration of potassium inside the cell, which is essential for processes like nerve impulses and muscle contractions. Alright. So there is this thing you are learning in chemistry about the action potential of sodium and potassium. That is the only thing I remember. So this whole explanation makes sense, and it's actually really cool that it actually applies to our cells also. That is why something like potassium and sodium are really essential. They can't be deficient. These are things you have to struggle to take in daily so that you can have them in good amounts. No matter when you're taking something like avocado every day, which is one of the healthiest fruits, then you're doing yourself justice. So apart from the avocado, we also have the green bananas, which have a good amount of that potassium. So you do not have any excuse right now to be going for the ripe one, because the ripe one comes with a lot of sugar, and the sugar itself is an anti-nutrient. Apart from the fact that it can affect your gut in a way that you're not able to absorb most of these nutrients the way you're supposed to. Yeah, so that is an indirect way of how sugar is also affecting you from getting all these nutrients. It's not only as an anti-nutrient during the absorption, including the long term, where you have a problem with your gut such that you cannot properly absorb nutrients. So I've handled an anemia case before, and it sounded like this person was eating right. At the first part of the consultation, I asked someone what they're eating, and it sounded like they were trying to eat right. They hadn't done it for long, so obviously it was that they had not given themselves enough time to actually heal the gut fast, because the first point is not only eating well, but actually having an environment where these nutrients can be properly absorbed. Because remember, that is what fuels your body, the nutrients. That is why we always say that the body cannot tell that you ate a cake or you ate ugali. It only identifies the glucose it got from that, the nutrients it got from that. That is why most of the refined carbohydrates right now are not actually very nutritious, because they have been ripped off of those nutrients and fortified, and sometimes the body finds it hard to assimilate most of the synthetic nutrients. So you find that at the end of the day, you've literally gotten nothing from these meals, because it's majorly carbs. To put mine with some minced meat, and I sprinkled some sesame seeds on top and some carrot right there. Very simple, very quick. So that's basically it for today.